So what rights do you think you have in this situation?
Well, I'm led to believe, and it's occurring to me, that I am without any rights whatsoever. We've had referendums held by the public that have shown that in the high 90% that people do not want it in our water. You'd think a public referendum would do it. I mean, that's all we're after, and that's all they won't let us have, because they know the high 90% will come in and they'll be forced to remove it. But Australian law, I mean, I'm only a father, and I don't actually know much of our law. I mean, I've never been in trouble in my life. I'm a good person, so I don't actually know that side of Australia.
Have you ever done any research on the Constitution and your rights?
On the Constitution, no. I mean, Americans are always talking about their Constitution, and most of their citizens seem to know it back to front, but to tell you the truth, it doesn't even occur to me that we actually have a Constitution. I wouldn't be able to tell you one word. I wouldn't even be able to tell you where to find it, and perhaps I should be looking in that direction. The Americans use it effectively against their government when they do wrongs to them. And,
so where do you see this heading for your family, the situation that you're in with your family?
Well, it looks like if the government's going to take legal action against me, especially in a commercial court where my story won't be heard, it's just, do I owe the money? Pay up. If you don't pay up, we'll take your house. I'm going to have to fold on my non-payment, which was just trying to get the government to listen to me. I thought maybe someone would listen if I didn't pay the bill, but I'm just going to get railroaded there, and I know that. And I'm scared shitless of losing my house. It's the only thing I've got. It's the roof over my children's head.
And you feel that all of this has been caused because you simply refuse, that you've been railroaded into having to pay for water that has a chemical that actually your daughter particularly is severely allergic to, and all of this has been caused because of that.
Well, the way my daughter is with a compromised system after the year-long chemo, I mean, her kidneys, her thyroids, they wouldn't be able to handle it. It'd wipe her out. I can't allow her to have one drop, and because I know it's so deadly, even for my other children, I can't allow them to have it. I've done the research. It accumulates in your bones.
So do you think there needs to be a more compassionate look, and a particularly a fresh look at the recent science that's coming out, particularly in places like China, where they've done IQ studies, and America has a wealth of scientific reports these days. Do you think there needs to be a revision of the actual reports that have come out now, and a more compassionate approach, particularly for sufferers?
I seriously think they didn't even look at any of those reports, the negative ones. I think they just, someone up on the hill said it'd be a good idea, and they've wrapped their so-called facts around this agenda. I mean, it works great for our companies. They've got a cheap place to put their toxic waste now.
So basically human beings become toxic waste dumps?
Yes, yes.
But specifically with fluoride?
Specifically. And all the other nasties that are in there with it.
Is there anything that you would like to actually say to the Australian government and the people that are making these decisions?
I think you should listen to the people you're supposed to protect. When over 90% of us don't want this in the water, and when we're fast learning what it is you've done to us, it's going to come a time where we're going to get a little bit angry.
How has this actually affected you directly?
Directly, first of all, I've lost all faith in my government and the scientists that keeps, as paid scientists. Financially, I have to source unfluoridated water, because once I've educated myself on what's actually in there, I can't as a father give it to my children anymore, especially my disabled child. As an effort to try and show the government how they've wronged me, I've stopped paying my water bill. But there's been tremendous stress with that, and bits of paper coming in my letterbox all the time and demands, and I'm scared that I'm going to end up broke or losing my house if the government tries to turn me into some sort of show of force.
So are you a criminal because you're not paying your water rates?
I feel they are trying to make me into a criminal. I don't feel like a criminal. I feel like someone's father standing up for their damn children.
What would you say to other fathers?
Stand up with me. I mean, everybody knows it's wrong. That it just seems that everyone's too gutless to actually do anything about it. They know the government's just going to steamroll over you. If the government wants something, they'll do it, and sometimes they use very dirty tactics too. We won't get into that. I mean, if they take me to court, I could lose everything. I could lose my marriage, my house. There's even been hints at losing my children. Because if I get the water removed from my house, under Australian law, they have to also remove the sewage. And then it's not a healthy environment for my children. So that sort of leads me to believe that something like DHS could get involved, and especially when they're so wrapped in this argument, and they're part of the argument, and they are actually run by the government. It could end up that, well, I'm afraid they will come after my children if I continue my non-payment.
And this is all because you just won't force feed your children a chemical that you don't want?
Yes, basically. Because I'm standing up for myself, and we can't do that in this so-called democracy, can we? Compulsory and democracy shouldn't be in the same sentence. What I'd like to know in the end is who's going to be held accountable. There's been no test done on how much fluoride is going into our systems already. There's no test done on how much fluoride is coming out of these different plants around Geelong. There's no test done on how much we intake from the food we eat. And we've had nothing but lies, and I just want to know who is going to be held accountable when the truth comes out. I feel they are trying to make me into a criminal. I don't feel like a criminal. I feel like someone's father standing up for their damn children.
What would you say to other fathers?
Stand up with me.